Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, sorry I did not get a video last week. I was really busy and really busy this week, but I'm gonna pop up a really easy card. The time intensive part is just cutting and embossing. So we're gonna just be playing with paper today. So I have my pieces cut for our card base and some gems that I'm gonna use. So what I'm using today is this Beautiful Shapes dies, and I'm using these octagons, and I'm using the second circle in this ring here, and I'm using this label right here, and I've pre-cut everything. So I'm using that. I'm using the thank you from the go-to greetings, and I'm embossing. So this really pretty dots or bubble embossing is the embossing folder that's coming available in March, and this is a 3-set kit. So you have your dots, your, I don't know what to call this. It's just got like etched designs on it, and then this pretty one here. So you've got 3 different ones you can choose, or it comes in as a 3-set that will be available in March. And then I just have some paper. I have a little flower punch. You can use a flower die cut. I just, whatever I could find quick that would fit in the middle of these little hexagons. So, this is a standard card base. I'll give you all the measurements. I'm using Night of Navy. And this is 11 by 4 1/4 scored at 5 1/2. This piece here is 2 inches by 5 1/8. This piece here is, and I've made some little cheater mats. This piece here is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then the background I chose to use white is your standard 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. So what we're going to do first is we're going to, most of this is just assembling. So it's just a quick card once you get your pieces all cut out. So I'm going to move this aside. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this strip. And I was inspired by a Pinterest post I saw. And I really like the idea of playing with the hexagon shapes. So thought this would be just a really simple one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this here and just leave a little bit of a border right there. And I find glue for the embossed paper is best because it holds it down really good, you know, and the glue gets everywhere, so you're sure to have it attached. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And I cut this a little bit short, so I'm going to leave the itty bittiest border on the top and the bottom here. And I'm okay with it being a little bit short. Just make sure it's straight. Yep, that looks pretty straight. So I'm just going to make sure that is attached there. And then I'm going to attach this to the white card base, and this is going to leave just a small white border all the way around. And the paper I'm using, with this you can really use any paper and coordinating color that is in your paper. So this is a very versatile card design. Just center that the best I can here. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the card base. Sorry for the loud noise you might hear. I get comments about that every now and then. I have a very loud computer. It's very loud. Okay. So there we've got that mounted, and we'll set that aside to let that dry a little bit while we do these others. So I chose to do For this one, the Night of Navy, the same as my background here for my circles. And I'm on these hexagons. This is Pale Papaya. That's what that color is too, and that's the colors that are in this paper pack. This paper pack I think is still available, and it is called Lovely and Linen, and it is in our annual catalog, which will be going away in a couple of months. We're getting new stuff, but these are an older 6x6 in color, or not in colors, 6x6 colors. So I have a whole bunch of these, and I thought that would be fun. They're tone on tone papers, fun for backgrounds and stuff, and I thought they would just be really fun on these circle for the hexagon shapes and just have a little bit of a pattern on them. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and attach these and kind of center these on the circles. That looks good, and we'll do for each one. Looks pretty good. You could use butterflies on these for embellishments, just any kind of die cut or punch that you have that you would like to do. A leafy pattern. All right, so those are attached. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, well, first we'll stamp our greeting. So I'm going to do it on this this piece. Like I said, again, I cut from that die right there, the smaller one, and I'm going to just use the thank you and my Tuxedo Black Memento ink. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up and try to get this straight. Looks pretty good. Okay, that way we have that ready, and then I'm going to actually pop this up with some dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and get that ready. So I'm going to flip it over and attach 2 dimensionals. With the new stuff coming out, I'm trying to use up some of what I have. I have quite a bit of paper, and I've been mainly stamping, so which is fun. I love to do it, but I do need to use up my paper. Okay, so what we're going to do, you can have this in any orientation you want. I'm going to attach the top and the bottom first so I can center the center circle good. And I want, you can have it, you know, this way with the octagon edge straight there, or you can have the point. I'm going to do the point up just because I like it. And add plenty of glue because this is embossed paper, because I want to make sure that it stays. Try to get that straight. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. Plenty of glue. Point and kind of line it up with that circle. Pretty good, and I'm just going to hold that down a minute till that glue dries for a second, and then we'll do our middle one here. And just try to evenly space that in between. That looks pretty good there. I'm just going to hold this down for a second and just make sure that it sticks, since it is it's a 3D embossing folder, so it's deeply embossed. All right, so here's this, and you could put that there and you have a pretty card, but I'm going to go a little bit further. And I have these 3 flowers that I punched, and I'm going to grab this foam pad here. So I'm going to add some dimension to the flowers. Now I can't find my little piece that goes in your take a pick tool, but my grandmother gave me this. So I'm just going to take this, it has a ball on the end, different size balls. I'm going to just kind of go in the center here. I'm just going to work on this paper and break it up a little bit, and then I'm going to go into each petal and kind of push in a line there just to weaken that up, and then I'm just going to go around, and this is just going to make it have a little bit of dimension. I'm going to do that for each one. Okay, that's good. See how it just curves up just a little bit. And I'm just using basic white cardstock for these flowers that I punched out. There's a lot of really pretty dies too. You can find, if you look at your die sets that you have, sometimes they have these little tiny flowers or leaves or butterflies, whatever, and you could just die cut those and use those. Okay, so we've added some dimension to those. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add these to the center of these hexagons here. Get my glue ready. A little dollop there. Then I'm just going to get this where I want it and just leave it to dry. Do the same thing for the last two. Okay, so there's our flowers on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and embellish them with some gems. And I have pale papaya right here, so we're going to go ahead and use those for the centers of our flowers. And I think these just finish those flowers off very nicely. Okay, and then the last thing to do is add our sentiment. I'm just going to add that right there. Pick it up, make sure it's straight. If you lay it lightly before you push it down, you can get it on without it sticking really good, so that you can move it around. Now the only thing I'm going to do, I packed away my, here they are, my inside pieces. So I have this organizer and I have some pre-cut white pieces. Now I'm not really going to decorate the inside, but I'm going to go ahead and grab that and put that in there so it's ready. You certainly could decorate this. Little piece of the paper on the edge, or maybe a little flag. I may go back and do something in there, a little flag or something, I don't know. But sometimes just a simple card like this is totally fine. All right, and there's our finished card. And the colors that are in this paper are the Night of Navy, the Pale Papaya, and Sweet Sorbet, and then white. So here is my sample that I made, and the difference is I pulled in the Sweet Sorbet from this color. It gives it a different look, and I used white circles instead of the Night of Navy for the background to attach the hexagons on. All right, well, thank you for joining me, and I will catch you on the next one.